Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new day. It is Sunday morning and it is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and that includes for baby mamas. So happy Mother's Day to all. It is about 54 degrees here, sunny, little brisk, but I think we're getting up to 60 today. So what I have in front of me is stuff to make banana nut muffins. We had 3 bananas that were about to go moldy, so I am making some muffins before they totally go bad. Alright, I do have to find an ingredient though, so I'll be right back. Alright everyone, so what I forgot was walnuts, so I grabbed the walnuts. Okay, so I've been using this recipe for a while now. I like this recipe. And as you remember, I mentioned that I broke the vintage mixing bowl, and still so sad about that, but right now I'll be using this plastic bowl until I get another one. So got a cup of flour here. I'm going to do all the dry ingredients first so I can whisk them together, and then I'm going to do 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. Then I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I've got this sea salt that was given to me in friend mail some time ago, and I just keep it in there. Alright, I think that's all the dry ingredients I have, and I'm just going to whisk that together. Alright, so now I'm going to throw in my bananas. Got them mushed already. Alright, I've got 2 tablespoons of oil. It calls for vegetable oil. I use canola oil. Alright, so I gotta go melt some butter. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I did let it cool off slightly. And then we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of milk, room temperature if possible. I'm not sure what that does. And then we're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. And 1 large egg. Alright, so now we're just going to mix all this together. I've got the oven preheated already to 425 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake them for 8 minutes at 425. Then we're going to turn it down to 350 and do an additional 6 to 8 minutes. All right, so I've got this all mixed together, and I'm going to throw my walnuts in now. I try not to get all that powdery stuff at the end of a bag. That's why I have it in the strainer, because I was straining out all that powder stuff at the end of the bag. All right, just mix that in. All right, so let me get my muffin pan, and we'll get some set up and put in the oven. All right, everyone, so I've got my, I usually put cupcake holders in there, and just because I don't like the mess in the in the muffin pan. So I've got 9 muffins here. I probably could have got an entire dozen if I didn't make them as full. This one's more like 3/4 cup, as well as this one, and that one too. And maybe we're okay. So 9 muffins this recipe makes. You can make them, like I said, if you fill them up less, you could probably make a full dozen. So, all right, so the oven again, 425. I'm going to put it in for 8 minutes and then reduce the heat to 350 degrees for an additional 6 to 8 minutes. All right, everyone, so the muffins are done, and now I'm cooking lunch. So we did not eat breakfast today. I'm cooking lunch right now, and I'm just making some hamburger patties with French fries. And the reason we're doing fries again is because the last time I made fries, I cut too many, and I ended up having to put them in water and putting them in the refrigerator to stay fresh. So yeah, as you can see, there's a whole pile of fries there. So that's what I'm doing, French fries and hamburger patties for lunch. And then for supper, I'm going to be making a casserole. So I forget who it was, but somebody had asked how I did my French fries. I basically peel them, cut them, rinse them off in the colander, and then put them on a cookie sheet with paper towel or a kitchen towel, something to dry them off. And while the oil is heating, which it is right now, I just leave the French fries sit so some of that wetness can get out of them, so they dry up a little bit. And then I just put them in the oil and fry them up. But make sure your oil is hot enough. That's going to be the difference between a little crispy fry and fries that are squishy and oily. So the last time I made fries was different from the time before that. The time before that is when I made those hamburger patties with that bad ground beef. And those French fries were really good. They were crispy and they were good. The last time I made French fries, which was the other day, I don't remember what I made them with. But I didn't have the oil hot enough, and you could tell the difference. They were squishy. For me, they're still good because I love any kind of homemade French fries. But you could tell they were much more oily and squishy. So definitely make sure you let your oil get hot enough. All right, so I'm just going to season this up, the ground beef. Got some onion powder, you know, the normal seasoned salt, pepper, and then I'm just going to make some patties. I'm not going to make them like smash burgers or anything. I'm just going to roll them up into balls and then squish them down. I'm going to make my patties, and then I'm going to put onion in the rest of the ground beef for Glenn's patties. That powder got to me. So yeah, I don't want any onions in mine, but he'll have them in his. All right, I need another glove on. I'll be back. All right, so I'm just gonna start breaking these up. You know, I never used to wear gloves in the kitchen when I handled meat, but ever since I started doing it, I realized how nice it is to wear them, because when you're done handling the meat, you just take off your gloves and your hands are not full of meat. Like, especially ground beef where it's like mush all over your hands. So I'm going to make a couple here. Just going to squish them down like that. Not too thin, not too thick. Just like that. So these will be mine. Oops. I hope everybody has a wonderful Mother's Day, all the mothers out there. A special Happy Mother's Day to my mama in heaven. And to Ma Josie, which is Glenn's ma. Alright, so now with the remainder, I'm going to throw the onions in there and mix it up. Those banana nut muffins smell so good. Now normally we would just like cut them in half and spread butter on them, but I'm going to make a cream cheese frosting for the top of them. So I did muffins. We're doing lunch. I'll make a frosting in a little bit. I've got the cream cheese and butter sitting out. And then I'll make the casserole for supper. And I still do need to get a couple of things done outside for yard work. Alright, so we got onions all over the ground beef inside. So I'm just going to cut up some patties or cut up some ground beef here. See, all this ground beef would be all over my hand otherwise. Alright, so we're just going to do it like that for Glenn's. He'll have 3 patties. Yes, and after I'm done here, I end up, once I got everything cooking, I clean off the counter. I do sanitize the counter with disinfectant wipes. Alright. That one's a little thinner than the other one. Oh, that's good. I did wash dishes this morning because I didn't wash them last night. So I had all that enchilada stuff, pots and pans to use or to clean. Alright, got my hamburger patties done, and I'm going to start frying the fries first before I put the hamburger patties to cook, because I have to try to time it right where they both get done about the same time. So, alright, I'm going to check the oil and I'll be back. Alright everyone, so the French fries are at the stage where they're browning on the outside, so it's just a matter of getting them cooked on the inside. And so now I've got my hamburger patties started, and I've got it at a medium heat. If I notice the fries are going to start to cook faster, then I'll turn up the hamburger patties. You don't want to lower the heat on the French fries, because that means the oil's gonna lose temperature, and then they're gonna get like oily and soggy inside. So alright, so yeah, cooking lunch now.